So my name's Ben Cross. I run Crosslands Flower Nursery, which is over in Warburton. A lot of you may know me as Austramaria Ben on social media because Austramaria, or Peruvian lily, or lily of the Inca, the seed originates from Peru. That's the flower we specialise in and grow, and there's thousands of varieties of just Austramaria, so roses. I mean, you got me on that one. I don't know all of these guys. So yeah, so I run the flower nursery in Warburton, and I'm fourth generation, so we've been going since 1936, which is very rare in farming and even rare in the cut flower trade. You could count on these hands how many commercial flower growers there are left in the country. Just within Chichester, you used to go to Barnham, Yapton, florists between Brighton and Southampton. They used to come to this area, Chichester, and get all their flowers. All year round, there were sweet williams, peonies, stuff, all year round, big greenhouses, and now we're the last one left pretty much in the country doing what we do. Over 90% of flowers are imported now. And talking about packaging, there's more packaging in the forestry industry than there is in the food industry. So yeah, I've kind of said it, but yeah, if you don't take anything from this evening, take that bullet point, try and support your local florist and urge them to buy from people like me, because that's the only way that 90% is going to drop. So half my weekends are going to nurseries that are now obsolete, and I'm scavenging stuff for my nursery. So we've had Jamie's, Jimmy's, Hugh Fernley's, but the flower industry, we've had no one. So all I do is my little bit. I've been doing British Flowers Rock. That's my campaign since 2014. And for example, Barnham Trading Post, they used to just sell 5 bunches a week. Now they sell over 100 bunches a week through education awareness, and that's just in Barnham. I go all over the country doing these talks, and it's usually an hour long, but I've got 5 minutes, so let's go. So we're not just talking supermarkets, we're talking gas stations, supermarkets, letterbox companies, Freddy's Flowers, things like that. We're talking arena flowers, funky pigeon, moonpig, when you see those horribly roses at Valentine's and stuff for Mother's Day, so you've got a lot of online stuff. Obviously florists, farm shops import flowers. When you're tucking down to your locally sourced veg and meat in your restaurant, where's that flower come that's on your table? Probably not from Britain. So it's just within the whole UK, over 90% is now imported. And why is that, do you think? How have we? Yeah, purely down to price, not about our heritage, not about supporting our own people, not about the health benefits of farming and flower growing, not about the environment. Just purely if they can get it for 0.001p cheaper in Ecuador, Kenya, Cambodia, Colombia, they'll go over there rather than someone like me. So we do millions of these bunches a year. And we used to do over 500,000 stems a year to supermarkets. And Grandad and Dad used to get me into the pack house, and we'd send hundreds of boxes of these a week to Covent Garden, Spitalfields, Western International. We'd even send up to Birmingham, Manchester, Leicester, Sheffield markets. We don't send a single box to the market now, because they return me 50p a bunch before commission, handling, box cost, transport, so on. And instead of doing about 500,000 stems a year to supermarkets, we do well under 100,000 stems to supermarkets. Whereas before they used to prioritise and support British, and Ben, Crosslands, give us as many flowers as you can get. If they're short of Colombian or Kenyan, they'll phone us for last resort. When supermarkets say they support British growers, they can't. It's a flawed system. They're ordering these flowers 5-6 weeks in advance. They've prepaid for it. When it gets to our shores, who are they going to ditch? The British grower or the foreign stuff that they've already paid for? So it's been up to me basically to take my company or my business on to a next generation, and we're now doing hundreds of boxes a week directly to florists, farm shops, restaurants, cafes, and we supply all year round nationwide. So it's picked, packed in a box with the customer the next day. So a lot of DIY weddings, and people want to source stuff, and they can come to the nursery, choose what colours they want, and then go to a florist and say, oh, Caroline, Sarah, can you use some of Ben's flowers mixed in with roses, lilies, peonies, which are sometimes out of season and hard to get. So talking about labelling, food has come a long way, but food has still got a lot of way to come. But flowers, this is as good as it gets. Waitrose, origin Kenya. Modern day family, you're going to run into a supermarket and run out. You're never ever going to notice it says Kenya on there. That'll be in the bin when you get home. Marks and Spencer, their packaging, their labelling's got worse. They used to have a picture of an aeroplane saying air freighted. They've now removed it. They're just like little Audi Morrison's, roses, £5. When you go into a supermarket, it doesn't say what chemicals are sprayed on the flowers, what chemicals are sprayed on the packaging, when it was harvested, where it was harvested, its carbon footprint, and so on. So these flowers are for sale tonight, $2.50 a bunch. But basically, pick this up in most shops. What have they attached to the bunch of flowers down here? Plastic. Yeah, so we're talking about plastic coffee stirrers, plastic in cotton buds. What about the millions and millions of plastic flower food sachets, let alone the plastic sellotape attaching the sachet? And if you do want to buy a bunch tonight, we can take off the sleeve and you can go home with a package-free bunch of flowers. Because even floristry paper's coated in stuff and it'll never biodegrade in my lifetime. So now I'm saving hundreds of these plastic things or sell it. They are made up of recycled plastic and they are recyclable, but I'm now reusing hundreds of these a week where local florists will come to me. Ben, can I have? So these guys today, they've just got flowers from my greenhouse, no packaging needed.
Why wouldn't you do
so,
paper?
Because I'd be out of business like that. These cost me 0.03p. Paper was 23p. And paper is still trees. It's still bad for the environment. So what's the best thing to do? Go home with a package-free bunch of flowers. So I do 50 or 60 of these talks a year. And as I say, I save thousands of those plastic sleeves. And there's no flower food. There's no plastic sellotape attaching it. We don't spray our flowers. So all the flowers that go around the world, they're sprayed with loads of chemicals to stop the buds opening in transit, and they spray and add chemicals to the packaging. So when you go, oh, they look nice, take the packaging off, and they go, bleh. Well, it's because you've taken away the chemicals that once surrounded them. And my flowers are just chilled, so they're chilled at about 6 degrees, whereas most flowers that go around the world, it's pretty much like Han Solo in Jabba's palace, sort of cryogenically frozen, pumped full of chemicals, bring them out. Alstroemeria, look, the foreign Alstroemeria, tiny little funny faded out horrible things. Roses have no scent, stay tight, go brown and die. Big lilies stay like big brown bananas. It was because they were picked 5-6 weeks ago, and they've been on this massive journey. They're stressed out, do you know what I mean? So big differences in packaging, stuff like that. So this is the last slide because I only have 5 minutes and I've gone over time before. Did some work with Lancashire University. Even flowers, imported flowers and flowers coming even from Holland emit 10 times more carbon than my bad boys. So these have got a lower carbon footprint by 10 times. That is huge. If you buy flowers in a supermarket, it's probably the worst thing you can buy for the environment, pound for pound, as in weight-wise. Because if you buy a shirt from made in China, at least that's going to last you a year. But if you buy flowers that are going to last for 5 days, and the carbon in the atmosphere that's emitted, it's pound for pound with weight. It's the worst thing you can do. Unless you're buying British flowers, but please support local florists and not supermarkets, because supermarkets are doing things to me like other farmers, you know, rinsing you on price and labelling is poor. And for example, Sweet Williams for £4, now they're £2. Gladioli were £3, now they're 99p. Some flowers were £5. Yeah, Alstroemeria I think is £2, 9p. Grandad got £1.95 a bunch in the 50s and 60s. And obviously his costs were a lot lower than mine. So if you can, support local veggie shops, farm shops, florists, and things like that. The flowers in the room tonight would all get rejected by a supermarket. Lots of reasons. First reason, if I took that to Mr. Supermarket, they go, bah, blown open, it's showing colour, that won't last 2 days. But I wouldn't come here and sell you green bananas. I'd come here and sell you nice yellow ripe bananas so you can eat with them and cook with them this week. These guys are all picked at what I call a ripe bud stage. Nice, big, fat, juicy, colourful buds. So when you come up here, oh yeah, gold, pink, cerise, white, and they will actually open up to about the size of your fist. Whereas the foreign Alstroemeria, it's picked so tight that if it's a red, it will struggle and be like a burnt orange, and it'll be faded and weird and won't actually open up. It will stay like that.
Can I vouch for that? You gave us some flowers nearly a month ago, wasn't it now? Yeah. And if you look at the Instagram posts, a week later, they just look glorious.
Yeah, they should last 2 or 3 weeks. They're picked today, these guys. So picked at the correct bud stage. These are also basically my version of the wonky veg. So supermarkets, like with food, with flowers, they have specifications. So because these stems aren't 22.1 grams each, because they're a bit gnarly and a bit wonky, but the actual quality of flour is just as good, just like those parsnips are going to taste on Hugh Fernie's thing in your soup or your roast dinner, they reject these, and we get rejected tens and tens of thousands of stems a year. But I'm now selling thousands and thousands of bunches of these a year, because if I give these guys a massive, long, chunky stem, and they need it for a floral crown, a buttonhole, a little jam jar, a little table decoration, they can save the planet and their pennies by buying my version of the wonky veg, because the actual quality of flour is just the same and they're going to cut the stem anyway. So it's all about education, awareness, and even the florists. I'm now going into floristry colleges and giving in this hour lecture, and people are waking up and doing, oh right, I didn't know that. Yeah, it's big things. And because I'm local, in the winter, these guys, in the greenhouse, they're taller than me. I'm over 6 foot. They're 7, 8 foot tall. So local florists, they can come in. They can have these massive long stems for entrances to marquees or big hallways or libraries and end of the bar or something like that. So they can actually buy different cuts. Like I go to my butcher and buy different cuts of meat that you can't find in the supermarket. So food, flowers. We want to link it all up. Help the local economy, so we do a lot of apprenticeship schemes with Brinsbury College. We work with Slindon Boys College that have autism and things. They work for us for about a month. They answer the phone, go and pick the darner, go and clean the boiler out, do the vents. It's, local economy. Yes, we pay people, but mental and physical health benefits of farming, flower. I mean, I could lose a couple of pounds, but I'm busy, do you know what I mean? It's a healthy lifestyle, it's what we do. Our water usage is way less than abroad. There's less damage, less waste on packaging and the flowers, and the price. These are £2.50. The ones in supermarkets are usually 4 or 5 quid. So what I'm proving also is that buying British, everyone goes, oh, it's going to be more expensive. No, not if it's done through the right means. You guys can get these at a good price, so... it's not to do with the price. Everything's British flowers, it's going to be more expensive. No, it's actually cheaper and better for the environment. So they say there's a long way to go. It's the end of my talk, so I'll let these guys go and do their thing. But it needs more awareness and more education. As I say, my industry doesn't have a Jamie Oliver or a DJ Barbecue or whatever. It's I've just got to do the best I can. Yeah. Well, yeah, my social media will be on the next slide. It's not just us, but things are going into Holland and out of Holland cheaper than even the Dutch can make it. And California used to be a big real flower hub centre there, but they're being killed off with the Colombian stuff as well. So it's not just a UK thing. And as I say, I'm doing about 50 or 60 of these talks a year to RHS, NAFAS, flower clubs, garden shows here. We're not a garden centre, so don't just come along, but we do organised site visits if ever you wanted to visit. There's a picture there just showing you some of our greenhouses. So we're, UK terms, we're a large commercial sized business, but in world terms, we're only 4 or 5 acres. The ones in Kenya are 400 or 500 acres of farm. So.
Where is your site?
Warburton, near Arundel. So it was a nightmare getting just to take it off. But yeah, for example, Kenya, Lake Navasha, the big lake in Kenya, all the flower farms are built around that, and the lake is getting shallower, more polluted, less fish stocks as the supermarkets take out the water and put crap back in, basically, with all their chemicals and stuff. So it's big stuff like that. And if you go on Google and type in Water Wars Kenya, local villages can't even grow potatoes because the supermarkets are trapping the water in all these dams, which when they get a lot of rainfall in Kenya, these dams aren't so well made and they kill the people that couldn't have access to it. So there's all this hidden stuff that no one wants to talk about, but I do, and I get into a lot of trouble with supermarkets and wholesalers and some florists, but this is the reality, and if we don't talk about the reality, then nothing's going to change. So I'm always uploading videos and pictures and stuff. I don't tend to use Facebook much because I'm always in the greenhouse and that's so clunky on my phone, but Instagram and Twitter, and I'll leave that there for you guys. I'm going to kick about while you guys do your stuff, so if anyone wants to answer questions, so because we're pressured. We'll do that at the end. We've got to let these guys do their stuff.
I think
So
Karen and Sarah are going to do it in more of a workshop style over there.
Yeah.
So please do go over and learn some amazing tips from
Yeah.
these guys for the rest of the evening.
have you got questions or whatever?
I just want to say, absolutely inspirational.
Yeah.
It's amazing, when you think you're trying to lead a good life and you can be totally oblivious to something like this.
Yeah.
I love fresh flowers. You've totally inspired me. I am never buying anything British.
Well, I'm not saying never buy. All I'm asking for is choice. So when we walk up to the egg counter, there's actually no battery hen eggs anymore because we voted against that with Jamie and stuff. There's either free range or barn. Or when we go up to the fish counter, hopefully we're all looking for the sustainable fish logo and buying mackerel when it's in season and stuff like that. And we're buying British asparagus when it's in season and not the Spanish stuff and stuff. But with flowers, whether I'm talking to teenagers at Brinsbury College or 96-year-olds at a WI, the loss of education and awareness is huge. There's this massive gap with the flower industry, and it's a £1 billion industry.
I feel inspired, that's all.
Yeah.